Hey, everybody, what's going on? I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary, revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of January 21st through the 28th of 2024. The themes for this week: Pluto officially in Aquarius. That happens on the 21st. And then the sun and Pluto are going to canoodle immediately because the sun has already ingressed into the sign of Aquarius. So, and the sun is obviously moving faster than Pluto. But also we have Venus making a move into Capricorn. There's a full moon this week in Leo. Ooh, some big themes. But before I jump in, and I'll give you the card of the week as well, just a couple of announcements. Excuse me. Monday, the 22nd, is the debut of the Jamie Dawn Show. I'm returning to 12 Radio, so check me out at www.12radio.com, and there's other great shows there. If you can't listen to it live, then you certainly can listen to an archive or a replay. Goodness, I have a little bit of a frog in my throat here. And so please feel free to check that out. I'm going to continue to give you the celestial wisdom. And also my light and shadow report on my website is available, www.jamiedawn.com. And the full moon energetic by sign scopes, if you will, are available also for you at 12 Listen, as well as on my social media. So come follow me, check it out. Always love giving you those every 2 weeks. We have a new moon and we have a full moon. All right, card of the week. The 10 of Cups. Yes, believe it or not, that is what popped up. And what I love about this card, obviously, it's a very positive card. However, what I love even more is that many of you have reported it's been a tough week the last week. It's been a major roller coaster ride. Now, remember, I did talk about that with a lot of Mars energy, Pluto in its last degrees of Capricorn, canoodling with the sun, bringing out a lot of fears and insecurities for us. Well, here we go. We get a reward at the end of going through all that shit, that now we can have a sense of wholeness. Maybe we had to slug away. Remember, our 9 of Wands was our card from last week, which said there's adversity, but we're going to face it and we're going to work through it. And we're going to have courage to deal with it, right? We have to have different perspectives, if you will. Well, 10 of Cups is such a positive card, especially when we're talking about relationships, romantic relationships. So there could be some new ones. There could be some long-term commitment, maybe engagement, things like that, or something that you and your beloved are committing to. Maybe it's to see each other because you haven't in a while, whatever, planning a trip together. There's some form of peace and harmony, wishes coming true, dreams coming true with the 10 of Cups. So just take a moment during this time, step back, appreciate everything. It's so much in alignment with the themes for this week astrologically as well. Also, here's some themes from the 10 of Cups that line up, and you'll hear that as I talk about the astrological pieces, is that the 10 of Cups is about following our heart, trusting our intuition, having that fulfillment of dreams and wishes, like I mentioned, having a sense of accomplishment or building a future with someone that we value or that lines up with our values. So this is a great card to have because this is all about joy, happiness, emotional contentment. So let's see what kind of emotional contentment or happiness, joy that we could possibly have this week. Okay. So Sunday, as I mentioned, Aquarius is our theme. The sun is in Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius. They're going to already start canoodling or being conjunct, if you will. So if you want to, and one other thing, on my radio show exclusively, I have the first 3 shows. I'm listing where Pluto is by the house. So you need to know where Pluto is in your chart and where it's transitioned from Capricorn to Aquarius. And if you listen to my first 3 shows, I take it down 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, as far as the houses are concerned, and giving you some insight in my interpretation intuitively as well as practically, astrologically, of how this Pluto energy could be affecting you. The fun thing too about the show is that I have guests on my show. My first show is just me. Second show, the second episode is Oliver, and the third one is just me. My fourth show is going to air on Valentine's Day week, and that has my daughter Tatiana on it. And that one is quite interesting. They're all interesting, but that one is pretty special. So certainly check that out. Again, that's only on 1-2 Radio. All right. Then with the sun officially in Aquarius, Pluto officially in Aquarius, we may be feeling more courageous to dance to the beat of our own drum, because Aquarius loves to have its own vibe, right? It wants to basically dance in the moon naked kind of thing, do whatever people don't normally do, push against the grain, right? We're feeling like we have a little bit more courage to do that. Maybe there's some courageous conversations we can finally have because we're feeling a little rebellious against the norm of going, wait a minute, I said I was going to do certain things differently. Now, how do I do that? In my relationship, particularly, I notice this pattern. Maybe I normally hold back when I need to speak up, or maybe I would normally hold it in, get resentful, and then just leave instead of inviting the other person to be in this with you, whatever the patterns might be. So we might feel more energized, with intellectual stimulation during this time, because Aquarius loves to know things, right? Our high ideals come into play. The philosophy with the sun in Aquarius is, if I want to see change in the world, it has to start with me. So we're going to be looking at ways in which we might need to change some things about ourselves, or because we know we can't control outer circumstances, only the inner. Maybe I respond differently, I feel more energy to have an innovative idea that I share with others, when maybe I would hold that back because I was fearful of rejection, right? Capricorn energy has that vibe. There's a real fear around rejection with Capricorn. And, even though that's part of the reason why that Capricorn energy can feel like they're using somebody, because it's like, I'm only going to tell them what I need to feel safe enough to tell them, because if I get rejected, oh my God, right? That's the end of the world. Whereas now that we have this Aquarius energy, there's more of that, like, okay, I can have that conversation now. Or I can include. Aquarius loves equality, and that feeling of like, does my idea or what I'm about to say, will it benefit all of us, right? There's that collective energy to it. Now, there could be that sense of rebellion that shows up, and we're ready to buck a system. There's a lot of questions that happen around this time around, does that rule still serve? Does that law still serve me? So there could be a bit of inciting around, the rebellion against the structure, if you will, of ideas, or maybe we'll see some rebelling against AI, or rebelling against the progress that's being made at this time. But I would also say that with Pluto canoodling here, there's an extra boost of power, because remember, Pluto's our power planet. It also is the one that brings out those fears, those subconscious things that we need to face. But with the sun here, we can have the courage to face them. We get creative. We also might decide that, hey, I could figure this out on my own. I'm afraid of X, Y, and Z. Now, who could I collaborate with that might be a friend, that might help me to work this out together? So those are some things that may show up for us this week. And Venus, like I mentioned, is transiting into the sign of Capricorn. Well, on Monday, it's in the last degrees of Sagittarius, making an opposition to the moon in Gemini. Now, it's a brief opposition because the moon moves so quickly. However, we may be feeling Sunday, Monday leading up to this, that there's this push and pull with an opposition where we feel chatty, then we feel maybe creature-like, we're pushing our ideas. And then another moment we may go, I don't think I know everything. I want to learn more. It's a really cool time to keep our minds open, to really expand through conversation and connection and having these creative ideas. And we could, just keeping that idea in mind that we can always learn something new. This is a fun fact kind of time. It's also the opposite, where there could be now, especially as the US is campaigning for the elections this year, there could be some of the not so fun facts, right, that show up. There's some lies here that could come out, some trash talking that also could happen. And we're all human. We can get our feelings hurt, or we can get defensive around it. So Monday, hit or miss, depending on our view. If we can take that youthful approach of Gemini and that open-minded approach of Sag, then we sort of go, okay, everything's included. Oh, I won't take that too seriously. But speaking of seriously, Venus is ingressing into Capricorn on late Monday, or I should say late Monday, early Tuesday morning, depending on where we live. Well, when Venus is transiting through the sign of Capricorn for the next couple of weeks, we're going to probably start thinking about more serious things in our relationships. What do we value? Are we aligned? Do we see a future together? How do we build that future? We have a more serious approach to it. If you're single, you want somebody, you're going to probably partner with somebody who's ready and wanting a serious long-term relationship. They want a commitment. They're determined. They're trustworthy, you know? Or if you're in a bonded relationship, you're wanting to take things to that next level. You want a more serious commitment. You recognize that hard work gets rewarded, you know? Now, this isn't just romantic relationships, it's going to be business relationships. And remember, Venus also deals with what we value. Yeah. And so we may take a more serious approach to the things like money, possessions, our friendships, our time with family. Yeah. So what do we value most? These are the things that are going to get our attention. And then we're going to want to have something tangible. This is an earthy energy. I don't want to just talk. I need to see action, right? I just get that vision of the director going, action, go. And honestly, I think if we can take it that way, if we can look at our lives as a great movie, a dream, if you will, that we're designing, we're the directors of this movie. So what action do you want to take? Ask yourself, not is this right or wrong, but what experience do I want to create? All this energy is leading up to our full moon on Thursday. So we have a full moon day in Leo. And what is this all about? We're looking back 6 months from the new moon that happened in Leo in August. What was our intentions then? And think about this. Leo is all about that heart energy. What is our heart's desire? That's what we were answering with those intentions. What do I desire most in my relationships? What do I desire most in my life? What do I desire most to feel that I can have pride about? What can I feel proud about in my life, So with this full moon, we want to be fiercely in love with the people and things that bring out the best in us. And if we're not, this full moon could have us saying, I've got to remove these obstacles. I got to clear away the things that are not bringing me joy. I have to make sure that I'm on a pathway that allows me to be able to get into the next stage, to continue to evolve into the next version of myself. Yeah. And so that's what we're looking at. We're going to be going, where can I show and express myself in a more authentic way, where my heart can stay open, where I can communicate in a very conscious and loving way, but also not in a roll over and have no backbone kind of way. If you think about it, Leo, you don't push Leos around. They will come out fighting. It's a lion, They're going to make sure that you know where they stand. And also, we know this about the Leo energy, you don't fuck with the family. So we're going to be looking at also that kind of family feel. Where is my family? Where do I feel I belong? The other piece of this, right after this full moon, the day after on Friday, we've got Mercury and Mars canoodling or conjunct in the sign of Capricorn. So what we say, what we want, what our heart's desire is serious business. And we're not going to just cow. We're actually going to put action. We're going to do what we say and say what we mean, kind of thing, So that's a big energy that's going to be taking shape, especially because they are going to be making a trine to Uranus. So what does that mean? It kind of means anything goes, And also, we have the sun squaring off with Jupiter that day. So there's going to be some tension that says, hey, I need to make sure that what I think, what I want, what I desire most and what I declared my heart's desire was, and I'm not going to stop at anything because I'm determined to make this happen. Well, guess what? I'm going to make sure that this tension that I feel between that sun in Aquarius and the Jupiter in Taurus, so the ideas being made practical, down to earth. There might be things stopping us. We're looking for some resourcefulness. We're looking for innovative solutions. Well, guess what? That may mean that we have to cut some things out of our lives, people out of our lives that just don't work for us anymore. Now, this is a great time not just to release those things that may not be working, but to also build up and add in the things that are. How do I reinforce this? How do I make it stronger? So these are the kind of things that we're going to be looking at this week. Now, life is going to happen. It's a roller coaster ride. Some days are good, some days are bad. You get to label what's good or bad, but come back to what experience do I want to have? What experience, what is best for me? What is my authentic self? And how do I express that? And don't let the fears stop us from expressing and being who we are authentically, because the people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. All right, you guys, I really hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and I'll leave you with a question to consider, to comment on. I'd love to know how you're doing when it comes to your relationships, and what do you desire most in a relationship? What do you value most in your relationship? It varies by all of us. So we all have that unique expression and unique desire. So I'd love to hear, what do you value most, or what is it that you want to express most that is authentic for you in relationship? All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next week. And come find me at 12radio.com.